Hello and welcome to the Cryptonaut podcast. My name is Mark Storrs, and with me, as always, is Mr. Robert Thomas Morphy II.
How you doing?
And of course, he is back. Good friends, good sir, good folks, Christopher Carnicelli.
Hello.
Oh, he's coming to
Hello.
us from a land beyond the screen. We are...
We're all from there.
Yeah,
right
just, bear with us while we do some remote recording here. We think that we'd be good at this, but we're not. So it's okay. We're just gonna stumble our way through this, and we're gonna make it work, right, boys?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're doing it.
It's
Cool.
COVID protocols all over again.
Yeah, there it is.
You got to do.
I mean, boom, we're doing it. We're making it happen. I'm just going to jump into the story. I'm not even going to give any kind of like silly things in the front of the episode because I'm going to save that for the end of the episode because we got an email that we're going to cover later, but not right now. So this week, gentlemen, oh shit, this is kind of fun. I actually have this Funko Pop sitting over there on my shelf just across the room from me. We're talking about mimics.
Yeah, we are.
Oh, man.
Oh, all right. Well, let's see if I can read this intro here without completely destroying it. Let's start with the already weird world of High Strangeness is chock full of guano-caliber craziness, but few phenomena compare with the outlandishness of a category of creature known as mimics. These bizarre beings evidently have the ability to imprecisely mimic the appearance of both human beings and animals with results that are, according to various eyewitnesses, disturbing, to say the least.
Yeah, these guys are icky.
Ooh.
Let there
Okay.
be no doubt. They're the Ickenheimers.
So we're not talking
Ooh.
doppelgangers necessarily. Right?
No, and that will be addressed immediately.
I'm ahead of the game.
Well, you would have been ahead of game if you actually read the work. But the fact that I sent it to you
Oh, no.
3.5 minutes ago
Wow.
means that was not an option.
Did-
So that one's on me. I'm the worst teacher ever.
I was going to say, am I in school again? Am I getting yelled at?
No. The
Man.
onus is on me.
I mean, it felt like it, though.
I know I'm beat red.
I mean, you didn't do the homework, but whatever. It's okay.
I mean, I only assigned
I
it
didn't either.
literally 7 minutes ago, but I mean, if you
Oh.
can't be bothered to do it and know that doppelgangers are addressed, then what the fuck am I supposed to do? Send it to you in a timely fashion? Come on.
All right. Okay, Dad.
Oh,
all right.
the self-burn.
Oh,
God.
crypto dad.
Crypto Dad all the way. All right, Rob, let's fucking do this, dude.
Aficionados of Fortean phenomenon are no doubt familiar with the concept of, Mark,
Doppelgangers.
or double walkers, a German term used to denote a pernicious paranormal entity that, on the outside at least, is the precise physical duplicate of a living human being, but with a sinister intelligence lurking within. Legend has it that coming into contact with one's own doppelganger is a harbinger of ill omen, though there are some cases where others who have claimed to have encountered these paranatural alter egos were said to have had pleasant exchanges, never realizing until much later that they weren't actually speaking with the real person. And that's just a weird like sub-phenomenon where like you need like some moral support from a good buddy that's like 2,000 miles away and they're there and you're like, oh, you were there. Thanks for showing up. It's like, dude, I wasn't there. I was fucking totally doing what I had to do. And it just happens sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's doppelganger or just like buddy ganging. We'll call it buddy gangers for lack of a better name.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Don't-
We'll
All right,
revisit
we're still
that one.
workshopping. We're still
Don't-
workshopping.
Do not Google that, whatever you do.
Yeah.
To
Make
get
sure
some-
safe search is on.
Yeah, clear your history.
The motivations of these enigmatic entities remains nebulous, but most agree that doppelgangers, also dubbed the fetch by English antiquary and lexiconographer Francis Gross in his Provincial Glossary of 1787, I know you all have a copy, are phantasmal fiends with wicked intentions. But as relatively commonplace as these run-ins with doppelwalkers, doubling up there, may be, at least in paranormal lore, there is another similar, though unquestionably different, phenomenon of odd interactions with an assortment of beings which have come to be known as mimics. Like the infinitely more infamous doppelgangers, these inexplicable entities seem to have the ability to modify their physical forms, but unlike their Germanic cousins, these creatures are either unable to achieve or perhaps know have no interest in perfect replication of a living creature and seem to be content with creating a sort of impressionistic pop art interpretation of one, or at times two people, and more random still, domestic animals. So these fuckers are going to run the gamut.
It sounds kind of cool. Like, it sounds trippy.
Yeah, they're satisfied with just being close
Yeah.
to the thing.
Like,
Close
like
enough.
second tier is good enough. Doppelgangers, they've got it on lockdown. They're going to be the perfect mimics. They're going to steal your life or ruin it or whatever the fuck they're supposed to do. But mimics are just like, I'm just having a good time here. It's an art expo. I'm just doing my thing. I'm the Banksy of the paranormal world. Just let it happen.
I like it. Nice.
The accounts we'll be dealing with here were published by 3 ostensibly unrelated experiencers on Lon Strickler's Phantoms and Monsters website and YouTube channel. The first incident was released under the title "Screaming Mimic Humanoid Terrifies Young Witness!" The incident in question, I know, it's awful when that happens. The incident in question occurred when the observer, a young man of Canadian extraction known only as CC, was just a teen. He was on vacation with his parents visiting his older sister and young nephew when he had a face-to-face encounter with the unfathomable. In his own words, quote, "I haven't told anyone besides some family members this. This happened when I was about 13 or so. It was summertime and I was on vacation with my parents. We had hit the road and had driven quite a ways to visit my older sister who lived across the country in British Columbia, about 20 kilometers outside of Victoria. That's 12 miles, give or take, for us Americans. After spending time together and sharing supper, we decided to call it a night. My parents slept in my sister's bedroom and she slept in the neighboring room with her small son," end quote. Although he conceded that his sister and mother looked vaguely alike, Cece made it clear that they only bore a superficial resemblance to one another, writing, quote, "It's important to note a few things at this point. My mother is a round, short woman with very delicate feminine features. She has round glasses and that night went to bed in a long blue nightgown. My sister, on the other hand, is very tall and athletically built, taking after my dad in regards to her facial features. She too has glasses, but unlike my mother, hers were square-shaped. She went to bed in a shorter orange and striped nightgown. These small but substantial differences are key. Now, since all of the bedrooms were full, I was given a blanket and pillow to sleep on the couch with. Of course, like any kid, I watched TV for a few hours well into the night. At around 4 a.m., it dawned on me that we had plans for the next day, so I should try to get some rest. After tossing and turning for about an hour or so, I gave up and just laid on my back, staring at the stars visible from the nearby window. As the natural light flooded the room from the sun rising, I flipped through some old photo albums. I did this for a while, not having slept at all the entire night. At this point, I was pretty bored and lonely and hoping someone would wake up soon and talk to me. At around 8 a.m., I heard a door slowly open and someone came out into the hallway at my sister's house. The living room is sunken in and a small staircase of maybe 3 steps leads to the raised kitchen and dining room. The hallway is also in this raised area and connects to the bathroom and bedrooms and an archway that leads down to the basement and laundry room. This means that I could look up and see what was going on in the dining area from the couch. This person hummed a little and then was caught off guard by a table in the dining room full of framed pictures of the family my sister had on display. End quote. Although CC was unable to get a good look at the feminine figure in the other room, he was able to make out their odd reaction to the images on display. Quote, "I don't know how to describe the way they looked at the photos, besides saying they were bewildered by them, maybe even enchanted, letting out the occasional ooh and ah." That's not always the reaction you expect, but okay.
All right.
I could tell it was a woman, but I wasn't sure if it was my mother or sister. This was strange because, like I said, they looked alike but were also very distinguishable. I also felt this weird feeling because everyone in my family has seen these photos many times, and I'd even say may own a few copies of their own of the exact same photos, so why act so amazed by them? I said, "Hey Ma, what are you doing?" in a nervous yet warm voice. No response. Okay, then it was my sister. "Hey, good morning. What are you going to make your dear sibling for breakfast?" No response. Huh? I knew I was definitely loud enough. They had heard me for sure. That uneasy feeling in my stomach grew stronger, and I had no idea why. End quote. It was then that, despite the evident familiarity of the woman looking through the pictures, Cece realized that something was not quite right. Quote, the likeness of my sister and mother was there, so it wasn't like a stranger or something. Then I noticed something very off. They were wearing a knee-length blue and orange striped nightgown, which, if you recall, though you'd be forgiven for not, is a sort of synthesis of the gowns worn by his mother and sister, respectively. Their height wasn't short, but it wasn't tall either. It was average. They had a muscular build, but could not be called skinny either. The hair was the same color as both my sister's and mother's, and so was the skin color. My heart skipped, and I thought, who the hell is this? Maybe someone stayed overnight, but how could they have? I had laid right beside the front door all night. At this point, the young observer finally got a good look at the mystery woman's face and made a terrible realization. Quote, when they turned around and went to inspect another photograph on the wall near the staircase, their face made my heart sink. It was a hybrid of my mother and sister's most discernible features, with glasses that were round on the bottom but squared on the top.
What?
Their eyes were not my mother's or sister's. They were very white and unnerving and darted all around the walls very quickly, very excitedly. It was as if my mother and sister had been Frankensteined together into one person.
Oh, Jesus. All right.
That's weird.
I don't like it.
The glasses
like
are
it.
really fucked up. The top are square and the bottom is round. I almost, for some reason, understand, like, organically, this thing being like an amalgamation, but the glasses, even like the weird dress, like,
Right.
Yeah, the all of a sudden you got a mid-length orange and blue combo. You've got a combination of the glasses. So it's like literally like one of the pod people in Body Snatchers, like two people fall asleep mid-coitus, and it just replicates them as one person instead of two.
Yeah. Huh. All right. Well, the glasses, for some reason, are extremely unnerving to me.
Yeah.
Continue.
Because it's not just organic stuff at this point.
Yeah, no, it's weird.
So that means, like, do you have access to,
Clothes.
like, manufacturing, like textile industries? Like, what the fuck are you doing? Is there a whole framework behind this one fuck off?
Are they unionized?
Yeah.
They should be.
They really should
know.
be, because they're gonna get raked over the coals by the man if they're not.
Oh, man.
So
All
mimic
right.
union, go.
Fuck
The
yeah,
Occult Laborers
dude.
Union is the first call you make,
There
and
you
then
go.
you move on from there.
Then you get your local union steward on the case. All
He
right.
continued, Cece. My knee-jerk reaction after seeing the face was to scooch my legs in and pretend I was sleeping, something I can totally identify with. I could feel the veins in my neck beating very hard, and my breathing became very loud and labored. Whoever the hell it was came down the stairs and looked around the living room with the same excitement. I don't know how to explain how scared I was as it came closer to me. I thought maybe if I stayed quiet, it would pass by me. I was also scratching and pinching myself now in case I was asleep without realizing it. The pain was very real, and I was awake. I watched with my eyes squinted as the thing took up an interest in the photo album I had left on the table very close to me. Then probably the worst thing that could have happened. My sister's portable home phone rang. My sister had answered a call last night and had put the phone on the couch frame between the wall and the cushions. End quote. At the blaring sound of the ringer, the features of this anomalous amalgam of Cece's mother and sister became extremely alarmed. It instantly turned its head in the direction of the intruding sound, and much to the horror of the young witness, locked eyes with him. Cece continued. It turned in my direction and saw me and became very, very angry. I opened my eyes and looked at it in its face with my entire body trembling, and it just stared back. Its eyes were pure black, total darkness, like two huge pupils staring right at me, and furious, end quote. As if things weren't quite horrifying enough, it was then that the black-eyed look-alike's mouth distended into an unnaturally wide, almost snake-like position, whereupon it began to repeatedly shriek the word no over and over again.
Oh, the fucking jaw move, really,
jaw, the
man?
distended
That's the
jaw.
Yeah.
worst. That's the fucking worst. I hate that when the jaw gets all and they're
And black eyes are no picnic either. And you know what? They're
give me
not just for
black-
kids.
dude. No, listen, black.
Clearly.
Listen, black. took me a second. I'm like, are we punching children? Wait a minute. Oh no, black-eyed kids. Never mind.
Jeez Louise.
Give me black eyes any day. As soon as you do that weird jaw thing and you're pulling your Chris Emperor's his Emperor Palpatine impersonation.
No.
Do it quick.
No, I mean Rob already did it.
I did, sort of. I did it, but I short shrifted it because I was hoping you would jump in and we would duet. We'd do dueling emperors.
No.
Yep.
Oh, God damn it, this was not good. It was not good.
No, I mean
Anyway.
that was fine, dude. That was totally fine.
So bad enough that
Don't sell yourself short.
No, your emperor was fine, Mark, but we're going to stay on point here. Fucking bad enough that this fuck all is like a combo of like two family members. And again, there's manufacturing to back it up and we have to deal with all of that. But that it extends its jaw. It's got jet black eyes. So at this fucking point, the mystifying mimic darted down the basement stairs. According to the eyewitness, quote, I heard a door slam shut and it kept yelling, no, 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 no.
Oh my God.
I stared at the archway for a long time, still shaking and digging my nails into my arm, begging to wake up because I was so afraid it would come back, wishing I was just dreaming. I literally could not move because I was too scared to get up in case it came back or was waiting at the arch. And I could not speak for the reason my brain abandoned me.
I love that it's running away and it's just yelling.
No.
Yeah, I almost got to jump up and be like, yes, motherfucker. How about that?
Right.
No, it was totally seen. It was totally seen. He saw it and it is not happy.
No, it's clearly repeating the word no. So,
but I like the genuine fear CC showing because what either makes this a good work of fiction or an authentic piece of memory is that the idea of being so afraid, especially when you're young enough, and at 13 you're still a kid. You don't want to feel like you're a kid, but you are. And him just laying there and being, afraid and staring at the archway, just convinced it's going to pop back out at any time because that's what horror film protocols, have indoctrinated you into, watching out for.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, to me, that just feels real. Doesn't make it real, but it makes it feel real.
Yeah, it's fucking creepy.
Yeah,
dude.
for sure.
So he continues. An hour must have passed like that. I did not move. It had stopped yelling, and this was for some reason even scarier than when it was yelling, because at least then I was sure it was downstairs and not slowly climbing back up the stairs to fillet me alive. I was wondering why no one in the family was awakened by the screams. Then I heard a door open again from the hallway upstairs and stared at it, full of adrenaline. At this point, it was my mom, exactly herself in the right nightgown. She was humming as she put on coffee and started making toast. Another door opened, my sister this time, the same as she had looked the evening before heading off to bed. She and my mom talked for a bit, and I just stared at them. My sister eventually saw me staring at her over the banister and yelled, "Ha ha, what the hell? Why are you just staring at me? Why don't you say something?" I replied back in a shaky voice, "I did, twice." They looked at each other as if to say, huh? I told my mom I hadn't slept yet, and she said that was a big mistake, etc. I love that. Like, I'm not going to write my mom's whole lecture.
Right.
As he ate breakfast with his mother and big sister, the teenager began to fully realize that he truly had not slept and that everything he had seen was real. It was then that CC decided, against his better judgment, quote, to tell them what had just happened in case it came upstairs to hurt them. They pretty much laughed at me and told me I had just fallen asleep and imagined it. They basically told me I was nuts. My sister told me to go sleep with my nephew and asked me to try and fix the screen in her room as it had somehow fallen out of the window onto the floor in the night. On my way to her room, I walked by the table in the dining room and noticed all of the frames were moved and in different places than last night. I pointed this out very excitedly, saying, see? And my sister just shrugged it off and said, her son likes looking at them. I kept pressing the issue. I know. See, 3 inches to the left. See,
frames.
No.
Yeah, that's not going to
Man.
help your sanity case, kid.
just start doing that, running away.
Ugh.
There you go.
See? Frames!
That'd be fine.
I kept pressing the issue, so my sister, much to my hysterical protest, went to the basement in every room just to make me shut up about it. She didn't see anything unusual. I laid in the bed and did not sleep a wink. I still think about it from time to time, and I did not sleep on that couch again, opting instead to lay on the floor in my parents' room, the room my parents were in, and locking the door. Cece then added an understandable postscript. I have been questioning reality ever since.
Yeah, that's gonna put you into a super weird spot.
I mean, yeah, what do you do with that? What do you fucking do with that?
I'm fucking hope this shit doesn't happen again. I don't know. There's no real protocols in place for weird mimic amalgamation people coming into your house, looking at pictures, and then screaming no and running away. There's no real plan.
I don't know. There might be, though. You just have to look.
Like on Google?
Yeah, I mean, the internet is vast.
Oh, should I ask ChatGPT and
have you been on YouTube, dude?
Just YouTube this thing. I mean, yeah, I do use YouTube to like fix shit around the house. Maybe I'm mimic in room, looking at frames, screaming no, what to do.
Yeah,
right?
What to do in case of double mimic.
Yeah, there's not. I mean, this is just a fucking nightmare, man. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it was something that he was asleep, but. The frames moved, so something must have moved him.
I mean, clearly.
Frames moved.
Smoking gun, the smoking frame.
All right.
Complete irrefutable evidence.
Okay, listen.
And there's Chris. And there it is. Undeniable proof.
The frames moved. It was clearly the mimic.
Irrefutable mimic evidence.
It's not moved the way people move things.
No.
That's not a people move.
Yeah, I mean, then again, maybe his ma's onto something. Like, if you're fucking half asleep or doing whatever, maybe, like, weird shit happens, So.
I mean, a nightmare would explain a lot. But.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I mean, if the kid really believes that he was awake the whole night, then.
Right. Well.
All right.
All right, fucking
moving
creepy.
on.
Do you want to hear something spooky?
Some monster was standing there. It reminded me of Bigfoot.
In walked a tall, gray alien.
One of the teenage boys started to exhibit signs of textbook demonic possession.
I'm Derek Hayes, host of Monsters Among Us podcast.
This pure all-white entity staring straight at me. Where there should have been eye sockets, there weren't.
Monsters Among Us is an anthology of real paranormal stories told by real witnesses.
I never really believed in this Loch Ness monster nonsense, but something very snake-like lifted its head out of the water.
A giant black triangle. It was so big that it blotted out the stars.
And I saw what looked like a huge monster. I could see the outline of hair.
New episodes of Monsters Among Us drop every Thursday. Available wherever you listen to podcasts.
Somehow I had lost 8 whole hours.
Indeed.
Our second account comes to us from a woman named CR. I think Phantoms and Monsters has a habit for anonymity's sake of just using initials. So it's not just a bunch of like cool initial people. It's just, that's the way it's going to be. Who, while vacationing with her family, much like Cece before her, was staying at a relative's home when she had her brush with the unthinkable. A brush which she wrote down under the title, Shape-Shifting Entity in Northeast Pennsylvania. She wrote, quote, "My grandparents have a cabin, in a town in Pennsylvania south of Scranton. Every summer we usually go up for a few weeks as a family event ever since I was little. A few years ago, we decided to go up in the winter because my family wanted to go skiing. At some point after we had got there, the weird things started happening really quickly and seemingly out of nowhere." End quote. CR, Jesus fucking Christ, Rob, read much. CR offered a little background on where the events she was chronicling took place, writing, "The house was built in the 1920s, old brick and wood home. The doors are these giant, almost church-looking doors, and the style of the home is very medieval." I'm not sure. I'm sure she knows what medieval is, but that's okay. Definitely adding to the creepy vibes of the home. The first night was seemingly calm through the house, but whenever I went there, I always felt there was something there or something lurking through the house. So that's an interesting backdrop. Like, you always get a bad vibe. It has a creepy demeanor, so that could probably put a patina on the event.
No, yeah,
but
for sure.
it really doesn't, I think, have a lot to do with what's going to follow, as we're going to get into right now. The first night, I got up to go to the bathroom at around 3:10 a.m., which is also interesting because I never get up to go to the bathroom back home. And to that, I must say, must be fucking nice.
Yeah, right.
Good job, CR. You fucking dick. Way to be young and have a bladder that's fucking useful.
Yeah, coming from 3 guys that I'm sure get up at least no more than twice a night to piss. So between us, that's like what, 6 pisses a night? If my math is right?
I have to be dry like 3 hours before bed if I want to have a decent night's sleep. I have to dry out like an old alcoholic in a fucking jail cell. It's fucking ridiculous. So way to brag, CR. Fucking sure.
Thanks. Jesus.
All right. Anyway, most nights I sleep right through without waking up. There were 8 of us in the house. My 2 parents, my grandparents, my aunt and uncle, and my 2 male cousins. I went to one of the 3 main bathrooms. There are 4 in the house if you count the master. So when I heard someone in there, I thought that was interesting because I was one of the few people who doesn't share a bathroom. But I stood outside waiting to make sure I did not intrude on anything going on in there, as one of my cousins has IBS and I did not want to bother him. That's sweet. That's a nice gesture.
Fair.
Despite CR's efforts to be polite, she found herself becoming unnerved by the sounds emanating from the bathroom. Quote, "What was extremely weird is the fact that whatever was in there didn't sound human in its movements."
What?
I know. It's a weird thing to say. It's a weird thing to say.
I mean,
okay.
All right, before we judge too harshly, let me finish what she says.
Okay.
All
right. I know, because you're like, how the fuck do you... But all right.
We've all been teenage boys in bathrooms, just saying.
Or girls. And we weren't, but we were.
No, we were not.
Not girls, but we were teenagers in bathrooms. Just let it happen. We were never teenage girls in bathrooms. Fair.
Fucking fine. All right. Fine. We're not going to prom.
So here's what CR describes. It seemed to drag its feet around, which made me nervous that he may be sick. Okay, so right there, I thought maybe that would serve as an explanation. It does not.
Nope.
People drag their feet, and her first thought is that her IBS-ridden cousin is sick. So I don't know about the non-human sounds, but maybe like some weird nameless thing of Berkeley Square, like sloshing and squishing and fucking... That I could see, all right, yeah, that's a mollusk. Clearly, that's a cephalopod. That's a fucking, that's a baby dolphin recently birthed in the tub.
I mean, still could be farts.
Yeah. Oh, God. It could be wet farts. You're right.
All this could be farts.
Octopus are wet farts. It's like literally the same sound effects.
Yeah, dude, if you have a couple of real fucking nasty morning farts in the bowl and that it just echoes, you're just oh, boy.
Like day after Chipotle fucking shits. Yes.
It sounds like a mollusk, dude.
All right, farts are still on the table.
All right, farts are on the table. Never take the farts off the table. All right. So CR continues.
Fart podcast. Okay.
Oh, God, all the time, dude. Now we're in our natural element.
Yes.
I'm just saying.
I called out his name a few times. Drew, are you okay in there? It's been a long time and I want to go to bed, or something along those lines. A few seconds later, he comes out of his bedroom and tells me, why am I making so much noise? And he's trying to sleep, and slams the door behind him. Before I could freak out, he had barely shut the door, and I was too scared to even yell back at him. I never realized before that the door to the bathroom wasn't even locked in the first place, which made me feel even more uneasy. Between the banter, I never realized the sound stopped, and it seemed like nobody was even in the bathroom anymore. I still even tell myself this was just my imagination going wild, but I'm not known for sleepwalking or having any type of sleep disorder. I decided to just open the door, brushing it off as my too vivid imagination. When I opened the door, it really looked like nothing strange had happened in there. But when I was washing my hands, I realized that the window was open. And I froze, thinking someone had broken into the house. But this was on the second story with nothing to climb up, making it almost impossible to climb up there, end quote. So the thing that's interesting about that to me is second incident we're dealing with. And someone could say you're cherry picking these, but I would also argue I just found the mimic stories that were available. And in 2 of these mimic stories, there's an open window inexplicably. So it's there,
okay.
and there it has to sit on the table until we can find something useful to do with it.
Dude, are you implying that they have flight?
I was not, actually.
Okay,
I was just
damn it.
implying that maybe they
Come
gained
on.
entrance through the window on their
Wings.
bat-like wings. Yes, Mark. Yes.
Yes.
Oh, are you saying it's just Spider-Man with some spells,
There it is.
some wizard spells?
Oh, Spider-Man, the wizard. I like it. Okay, continue. What do you got?
No, that's it.
Oh, no, give me more, dude. Come on. What's he?
I
Okay. Okay.
I don't know. I don't know what else to add to Spider-Man Wizard, man. I don't.
No, I mean, wasn't that enough?
What do you want from me? What do you want from me?
I don't want to pressure you, but you normally go down really deep dive holes, man. Dig my hole. Deep dive. Never mind.
Dig my hole.
Never mind.
You just got to calm down.
All right. Spider-Man Wizard. Farts on the table.
Mark, is it okay for me to continue this story?
It is. Yes. Thanks. Appreciate you.
The next day, nothing happened in the daytime, making it seem more to me that it was in reality just figments of my imagination. But that night, I had to let my dog out. She is elderly and never really barks much, nor does she run fast. So this definitely is a cause for concern, I thought, when I let her out and she bolted to the edge of the woods and vanished inside of them. I tried to follow her barking, but honestly, I was too scared to go into the woods past the tree line. Quote. End quote, that is. Based on what happened next, CR's fears would seem to have been well-founded, she continued. When I finally got her to walk back, her back legs seemed off, almost like a person pretending to be a dog walking on the ground.
What?
Yeah! Just try to imagine what she's seeing.
Okay.
Her eyes were also off. They looked human-like. Oh, you just see like people eyes superimposed on a dog face with like little human limbs, but they're like brown and furry, and like the fingers are curled under to make it look like paws. And it's like, I'm walking like a dog here, fucking dogging it up.
Nothing. It's me, dog.
Clearly just a dog. Clearly going for a walk. Don't mind me. Oh,
What are you looking at?
It's so weird. So gross.
Okay.
Needless to say, she continues, I freaked out and ran back inside without her. End quote. As soon as she slammed the door behind her, CR was in for another shock. When I got inside, my dog was sitting panting by the door, so she must have ran back in when I was yelling into the woods trying to find her. At this point, I didn't even want to leave the house for fear of what was lurking in the woods.
Oh my God.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's
Holy
it. You guys know how I feel about like people face things, like the fucking weird primate based not cat, or the thing from like the remake of Invasion of the Body Snatchers, which I have to cite every 27th pod at least. But fucking human faced animals fucking freak me the fuck out. I don't care for that shit. This is almost worse somehow. Like human limbed dog, human eyes, just like one of those old Quiznos commercials, like those, remember those weird
Quiznos?
Oh no,
you know
I forgot about that shit.
Oh, that living nightmare that invaded all of our psyches for a while. I don't know, 20 years ago.
No,
or so.
thanks for reminding me. I appreciate that.
Dude,
I could have lived the rest of my life and not remembered it, but now it's in my fucking brain.
That's what this dog is to me.
I mean, Quiznos is long dead, right? It's not a thing anymore, is it?
No, I mean,
oh shit, I don't know.
I think it is. I'm almost positive that they're all gone. They should be. They shall be burnt to the ground. But
fair enough.
That's just me. Okay.
But much like this dog, Quiznos should be burnt apparently, and I hope they're not a sponsor. But fucking CR's Odyssey is not finished yet.
Okay.
Frightening though these first two run-ins with the inexplicable were, they would pale before CR's final encounter with the so-called mimic. Quote, the last night we stayed there was the most interesting and confusing turn of events that had happened. We had all skied all day, so we went to bed quite early, around 9 or 10. I never fall asleep early, as I am usually a night owl, but I woke up at around 12 a.m. to the sounds of my cousin Drew yelling outside. Oh, no. I woke up in a fog and tried to quickly rush to the door and open it. I didn't even take into consideration that the door was still locked from the inside. When I got outside, his voice seemed to be coming from multiple directions, nice word, and echoing through the valley. I saw him by the cars yelling, and when I started to go outside and call out his name, he looked at me quickly and his eyes got huge, and he ran into the woods with a beckoning gesture for me to follow. I decided that was definitely a bad idea. Good call. Good call.
Smart.
So I woke up his parents, and he ended up being asleep in his room the whole time. I still have no idea what was out there that weekend, and I haven't been back since. CR. So,
oh man, you got the dog, you got the cousin, you got the weird farts in the bathroom. Like they're
trying to get you into the woods. Like first it's in the house with the open window, much like the weird double mimic from the first account, but CC. And then you get this like, all right, so the dog runs into the woods, but it was probably not her dog anyway. So that means that the human person dog weird thing was fucking in the house already, leading her out into the woods while her dog was already in the fucking house probably the whole time, just going the fuck. The fuck, you don't recognize me, your faithful companion?
No, I know.
Of all things, you'd think that's the first thing you notice is like, oh shit, my dog has a human face and is being real fucking sketchy.
And its ambulatory fucking skills have really gone down a notch because no human walks like a dog in any convenient or convincing way.
Oh man, but then the icing on the cake here, dude, is the cousin in the woods. Like
cousin in the woods with IBS, no less.
Yeah,
it's gonna be trouble,
man. Yeah, okay, that's. Yeah, all right. This is full of problems. I have no pictures to reference the movement of picture frames in this one.
No, this is the ick. Like I said, this is the ick. It's not going to get any better.
Okay.
Our final account was published on Phantoms and Monsters on Saturday, July 3rd, 2021. Hey, everyone forgive me.
My favorite day of the week.
Going through a lot.
Saturday.
Directions. I'm going to give my directions Saturday.
All right, so I've worked really hard to keep my Mississippi background fucking tamped down. I went to Oxford. I studied the language, and sometimes the truth comes out.
You still can't say documentary, right?
I can't, or vague.
We have an email about that later. Continue on.
Good Lord in heaven above.
No, there's a point of contention about that word.
There is.
Oh, all right.
We'll see.
All right.
We'll see.
So, Saturday. Under the heading, Mimic Humanoid Encountered by Young Argentinian Man. In his intro, Lon wrote, a young Argentinian man is visiting his grandparents in Huachana. God, I hope I said that right. One night, he observes several people drumming and chanting in the field. The next night, he encounters a mimic. The young man he was referring to, JM, set the scene in his testimony, writing, my family is from Santiago del Estero, Argentina, north of the country. From time to time, we would go see them. Once, when I was about 18 years old, we stayed to sleep in my grandfather's field. It was summer, and there it is hot all year. Unable to sleep and bored, I went out for a walk. There is no one in the area. It's a place called Huachana. Again, do my best. There are only a few neighbors with whom I have never dealt. End quote. It was during one of these nocturnal jaunts that JM stumbled onto a strange situation. In one of those night walks, in a field of some neighbors, I saw people with some drums. There was no fire or anything. They were only illuminated by the light of the moon, without making more than some noises with their mouth. I hope they're also playing drums and they were just making drum noises while standing with drums.
Yeah, right.
That'd be weird. That'd be super weird.
I did not give them much importance. My grandfather used to wake up at 4 a.m. to make cakes on the grill and have mates, or mates. I'm not sure what that is. So I assimilated that in that case, it was a similar situation. So I think he means assumed. And you know what? He speaks English better than I'll ever speak Argentinian. So good on him. That was a similar situation. So I kept walking. They stared at me, not knowing what to do. I nodded to greet them. They don't even flinch. They keep looking at me and stop with the drum and making those sounds with their mouths. Okay, so it's both. Okay. The incident, which must have been about 5 minutes or so, really freaked me out. I started to get scared and decided to go back to my grandfather's house, but I did not want them to know that I am scared. So I walked around the field, and when I got out of his sight, I started jogging. I arrived at my grandfather's house, and I could not sleep at all. My grandfather wakes up very early as usual, so I decide to tell him everything that happened. I want to clarify that my grandparents are devout Catholics. My grandfather told me never to pass that way again, and if I see that they are doing something, do not even look at them. Also, that if they ever offer me something, just reject it immediately, end quote. So that's pretty fucking dark and harsh.
That's extremely
specific. Take the cakes. Do not take the cakes.
Yeah. Oh, no. Don't take the blood cakes from the fucking voodoo gods or whatever the fuck
False
is going
cakes from false mates.
on. Oh, there it is. That's good advice. If I've ever heard good advice.
Christopher, excellent. And this is some very specific things not to do. So
See you
fuck
later.
guy knows what's up, man.
Yeah, not on a fucking Saturday.
No,
That's not what you accept.
No.
False
or a Thunder
cakes.
D
Under D.
or a
All,
Amanda
any
Night
of the weeks.
or a Tuesday.
Oh my god!
Oh, Jesus.
Give it time. I'm going to say all of them, and I'm not even going to do it as a joke.
Yeah, we're all going to be there. It's going to happen. All right. No more drums. Here we go.
Made even more nervous by his grandfather's reaction to his story about the dark drum circle, JM could little have suspected that he would have, an even more anxiety-inducing encounter later that same night. Now comes the strong part of the story, and it will seem invented, but I swear it was like that, and I cannot find an explanation. Also, I want to clarify, I was neither drugged or drunk. The next night, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about the neighbors, and out of nowhere, I hear noises outside the house. I thought it was the animals that were making a mess, so I'm going to see. When I walk outside, I see a familiar human figure. It is my grandfather telling me that he needs help, and that he needs me to accompany him. He was going to my neighbor's field. End quote. Though his first instinct was to do as he was asked, something deep within JM prevented him from following his grandfather's request. Quote, at that moment, I felt a chill of enormous fear. I rejected him and went back to the house. Inside the house, I felt safe, and with more reason, I decided to go to my grandmother's bedroom to ask her what my grandfather wanted to do. But I found something that made me not be able to sleep at all in the next few nights that I was there. My grandfather was sleeping as quietly as possible. It was impossible that it was he who called me. Until today, I keep thinking about what happened. End quote.
Fucking doppelgrams, mimicgrams.
Doppelgrams calling him into the woods.
What's up with these woods, dude? What are they trying to do?
I know.
Is this how they fucking hunt? Is this what they do? This is like their hunting mechanism?
That's a really solid theory. And hold on to it, because we're getting there.
Hey, I'm fucking coming out. All guns firing here, dude.
If not his grandfather, who or what was trying to tempt the young man from the safety of the house back toward the evidently nefarious neighbor's property and the bizarre rituals taking place there? Are we contending with some kind of creature conjured up by black magic, or was it unrelated to the delirious drumming from the night before? As to all three of these cases, there's no way of knowing whether we are dealing with the same types of entities, but there are commonalities that are difficult to ignore. The first and most obvious is the fact that all three accounts involve people who are self-professed night owls, people for whom sleep does not come quickly or easily. Is this just a coincidence, or is the mere fact that our three protagonists were light sleepers that allowed them to come into contact with beings that usually have their run of the house in the wee hours when most people are lost in a deep sleep? The second similarity is that all three witnesses were visiting family. What could possibly be the connection here? Is it that these enigmatic agents are attracted to the kind of energy/tension created during family reunions? Could they be psychic parasites or emotional leeches that glom onto these sometimes heartwarming, sometimes stress-inducing meetings among relatives separated by time and distance? More to the point, why is it that two of these uncanny impersonators tried to lure the witnesses away from the house into spaces marked by isolation and darkness? One trembles when considering the implications. And also, as aforementioned, the open window in two of the cases. And possibly an open window. Like, I don't know if the window was, it must have been open if JM was inside the house and the grandfather was beckoning outside. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean a window was opened in a way that was less explicable, like in the other two cases, but it's a possibly trifecta, but it's definitely a double. Just as intriguingly, though perhaps a bit less distressingly, why did the strange syntheses of mother and daughter that seemed to delight in the family portraits in the first case react so adversely to being seen by the teenager on the couch? Why indeed is it that this thing, like so many other ostensibly parapsychological organisms, seem to be so terrified by the fact that they have been simply seen by a human being? Are they in direct contravention of a sort of supernatural prime directive that states one can only visit this plane of existence if they remain incognito? Is the act of being busted result in some kind of spiritual demotion or rescinding of rights or travel restrictions imposed by even more nebulous entities than the ones who were caught in the act? The mind reels at the implications. But while answers are few and far between, it seems that we are now collectively stuck with the fact that, among the throngs of cryptids, aliens, fae, goblins, and spooks we're already dealing with, we now also have to contend with insidious imitators whose origins or agendas remain utterly unknown.
Oh, mimics. There
Mimics.
it is. Yeah, so, fucking creepy. Super, not much shit that we talk about creeps me out. A lot of it intrigues me, but this makes my skin kind of crawl.
Yeah, when you can put yourself in the place of an eyewitness and be like, fuck no. Absolutely not. Nope. Nopenheimer. Nope. Then you know that's iffy business, and mimics are iffy business.
Yeah.
Sure.
So, man, yeah. I mean, there's obviously some shit that ties it together here, trying to get you into the woods, the whole window thing. It really sounds like, I'm just going to go out on a limb here. I don't want to be controversial here, but they are up to no good.
Ooh.
And I'm going to go with my theory here that quite possibly this is how they hunt. I'm going to assume this.
Daring approach.
Yeah, I mean, again, listen, I know I'm thinking out of the box here, guys. This is a new day. This is a new mark. But I'm just saying,
geez,
I know we're not in the same room. We're over the internet, okay? But I'm thinking that possibly this is maybe a hunting technique.
I mean, the old bait them with like those like weird, nefarious creatures. I guess from Fey lore, where they would have the sound of a baby crying to like make a person be like, oh shit, there's a baby abandoned in the woods, Hansel and Gretel style. I got to go save it. And then, oh, watch, my guts are being eaten by this fucking monster troll or whatever. It's been, said to happen over and over again. So using the face of a loved one, especially in the case of CJ, and then of course in JM in the final case where it's a grandpa or your dearest cousin Drew with IBS, whatever it is that gets you into the woods, they're going to fucking beckon you in.
No, right. Yeah.
The first one's much weirder though to me. Like that one still remains fucking one of the weirdest things ever because it doesn't have a clear agenda. It's not trying to be seen. It's not trying to get you out of the house. It's super pissed that you did see it. So it almost makes me think it's like something else maybe. But the open window, the night owl, the visiting family, what the fuck is the deal with that? Like not being in your home space. Here's what really worries me. Are these things constantly up in people's houses, but unless you just happen to be someone that isn't there very often and happens to also be a night owl, the chances of you running into them as they're like oohing and eyeing over your family portraits or going through your book collection or looking at your fucking DVDs or whatever the fuck they're doing, chances of you catching them are nil. And when you do, then they either have one choice, flip the fuck out and scream no in their best emperor style, or try to get you into the woods to fucking kill you because they can't be seen.
I mean,
or not.
I know. It's a weird. I mean, that's a weird. That's a weird action. That's the only one that did something weird like that, right? That just was like no, and fucking buck and just.
But again, that is a common trope. That's a common trope of we've been talking about this forever now. Like these paranormal entities are mortified at being seen. Like they're totally cool being like some half-ass kangaroo, fucking spring-heeled Jack combo weird thing. But as soon as someone sees them, they're like, you weren't supposed to fucking see me. You don't see me. Oh, remember the aliens? It was right before Chris came back. It was like, you don't know me. It's like, I fucking know you.
Yeah, that's right. He's like, you can't see me. He pulled the John Cena. You can't see me. And then she's like, no, I totally can. And they're like, fuck.
But yeah, I mean, it is a thing. It's not a common trope, but it's in movies and lore too. There is a rule, and there's, like you said, there are some things where there's punishments, like you got to do this, but if you can't, it's a fuck up. Like if you get caught, there's a price to pay for it, or it's just some sort of fucking rule. Some unseen fucking rule where if you get caught, there's a price to pay because that's just the law. That's just how the rules are.
What I can't help but rules. Think, I mean, let's look at this more prosaically. What if we're dealing with the same way, say, different nation states deal with each other, as opposed to, say, different levels of reality or dimensions or Fey world to human world. What would you have? You would have scouting parties. You would have espionage. You would have, you would have spycraft. And if their job is to like get in there, get some intel on the people that are, say, fucking up the interdimensional borders with, nuclear tests, some thousands of which have taken place on Earth since the 1940s, or whatever motivation they would have, though it seems like a lot of, at least UFO stuff, happened post, the atomic bombs, but obviously the Fey lore goes back much further. But wouldn't it make sense to keep an eye on your neighbors? Now, even if they're somewhat less technologically advanced or maybe less spiritually civilized, for lack of a better term, they still could pose a real threat. And much like any CIA agent, you get busted or MI6 or whatever, you're fucked. And maybe, like Chris was saying, you get screwed by your higher ups, or maybe the act of just being seen, just is like just a black mark on your record, and it fucking blows.
Okay.
If I were elves, I would
that.
worry about us. I would spy on us.
Yeah. No. And they send their weird mimic. Actually, that kind of is a cool camouflage. It's a cool active camo. You know how I feel about active camo. I mean, that's kind of a fucking neat way of doing it, where you just pop in and you're just like, hey, here I am. And fucking next thing you know, you're mimicking a dog in a really fucking shitty way.
Shitty way.
You're slouching around a fucking bathroom being fucking bizarre.
What if it's just shitty tech? Like, what if they just scan the house? It's like, look like somebody in the house. Check out the photos. One of those kids is going to grow up to do like some like important shit, so we got to keep an eye on them or whatever. Maybe it's timey-wimey like that. Maybe it's not. And they just scanned the bedrooms. And it's like, oh yeah, this was the female DNA, and they didn't bother to discern that it was two different people. And then in their little fucking lab on the ship or wherever the fuck they were starting from, they just slop together the glasses, the nightgown, the form, and they just go in there and they're like, oh, Christmas, Easter. Oh,
I mean,
they lost their focus on their job because they got caught up in human traditions and fucking family love. Fucking Norman Rockwell, and they lost their mission and they got seen and they got fucked and they said no.
Is that kind of like a Critters protocol where the fucking dudes on the ship, they mimic they have those weird like white faces and they fucking mimic them, everything? Yeah. Probably more doppelganger though, really. But all right, well, I'm going for the
doppels.
I'm going to say that they're trying to. Yeah. Oh, I don't know. Is that a thing? Like in D&D, a lesser doppler?
The lesser doppel.
Okay. I'm going to go with that maybe they're trying. I'm assuming they're trying to eat you. That's how they survive their sustenance. But you know what? Let's end on a note here, skeptically speaking.
Ooh.
Night owls.
Yeah.
These people can't get sleep, like someone that I know, I'm not saying who, Rob.
That's fair.
And you're up weird fucking hours of the night, man. And if you're in those weird fucking dream states and all that other bullshit, you're just seeing stuff. And you're just, I mean, especially if you're tired. Like, dude, when you tell me you're like, I haven't slept in 2 days, I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you, dude? Like, you've got to be literally losing your mind. Like, literally.
I definitely felt like full body fatigue and a mind that's raring to go. That's a common state for me. But I must say, I don't often hallucinate, or at least, I'm aware enough of what consensus reality is that I think I would fucking know if there was some like crazy shit happening. But that doesn't mean when you're a 13-year-old kid, or if you're a young lady that skis all day, so you're physically exhausted. Being in a foreign environment also has to be a factor. On the skeptical side, I was trying to figure out a way to apply it to the paranormal side, but on the skeptical side, it's hard. Like, I like sleeping where I fucking sleep. And when, we've all done it, we've all, had to like crash somewhere for a few days or longer. It's weird. Even if they go above and beyond and the hosts are great and the space is comfortable, it is still foreign. And if you're already a night owl like me and you have a hard time sleeping, you might as well fuck off that first night of sleep. Just fuck it right off, no matter what you're going to do. And now if you're younger, maybe you're tripping a little bit, like on just pure exhaustion because you need more sleep. You're a growing kid. I mean, there's a lot of things you could factor in, but the analogous elements, be it the window, be it, visiting relatives, be it night owls, maybe all coincidence, but they also seem to point towards, at least if there's a paranormal investigator out there that's done some real legwork on mimics, and I don't know if there is, because I've never seen anything but these accounts, but I've never really dug deep. Maybe these would be reference points that you could apply to other cases and see if there's anything valid there or not.
Right. Okay. No, fair.
Yeah.
Fair enough. There it is. All right, man. There it is. Mimics. Holy fucking shit. That shit is creepy. Thank you all so very much for joining us for the Cryptonaut podcast. My tooth, as you just witnessed, tried to write the fuck out really bad.
It happens.
I witnessed it.
You saw it, dude. You saw it live on camera.
Or was it a mimic?
Oh, do I have a mimic tooth?
Oh my God.
Was
Is
it
your
the-
tooth
Wait a
a lie?
Hold on.
Was it?
There it is.
Was it?
Hold on. Wait a minute. Is this? Can you see my tooth? There it is right there. Look, it's a
Yeah.
mimic tooth.
No, that's a mimic.
That's a mimic.
And it feeds on the
I'm
dead, as
I'm
we already
recording
know.
this, and I'm putting this out to the world.
You're going to record on my tooth?
Yeah. No, this is recording. I've been.
See, that's why
recording
I
this
don't
whole
let a
time.
mimic tooth get in there.
That's why-
I'm not going to have my mouth lie to our
Dude,
audience.
Are you mimic tooth free in 23?
23,
Oh,
baby.
man, I put
Yeah.
93.
No, 93. It's
Jesus.
hard because that was the last
be fooled by dry
hot
tooth.
3.
All right. Oh my God.
The teeth that eat the dead. Don't be fooled.
Jesus. Robert, we have Patreon shout out.
Oh,
for
yeah.
The good folks over there.
Love it.
Patreon.com/Cryptonaut podcast.
I'm so, again,
Thank.
so grateful to all of these motherfudgers. Thank you. Every single one of you that supports us. Honestly, I mean, you can't, I don't know if Chris will ever put out this video. You can see some of the books that you've helped buy, but you can, you just also let it happen. You let this podcast happen. So thank you, one and all.
We appreciate it.
And beginning with Zach Snyers.
Thank you, Zach.
Oh, that's a cool name. Ty.
Hell yeah, Ty.
Oh, Ty.
Chelsea Gilmore. Oh my God, you have your own WB show immediately.
For sure. Thank you, Chelsea.
Oh my God, you're adorable. Chris Overton.
Hell yeah, Chris.
Minnesota Bear Strangler.
Oh my
I like
God.
that. That's a
Nice.
I'm here to strangle bears. I like it.
Bigfoot. 2 words.
Thank you. Thank you,
Caps.
okay.
Each caps.
Okay.
Sarah
there it is.
B.
Thank you, Sarah.
Justin Seawolf. You, sir, are also like a character on that old show Jag, or one of those like throwaway military
yeah,
ops
yeah.
shows. You're on
Nice.
NCIS fucking, dredge operation. But anyway, thank you,
What?
Justin, for your support.
my
I don't
God.
even know what they do. They look in water for dead bodies, I think. I've never seen it. Hunter Mills. That's
Hell
probably
yeah.
not an accurate representation of NCIS. Whatever the military one is. I don't
Thank you.
fucking know.
Thank you, Hunter.
Yeah, I know, Hunter. I'm over talking your shout out with my own dumb lack of knowledge of contemporary crime shows, and I apologize. Hunter Mills, you get 2 shouts because of that.
Hell
Thank
yeah.
you. And rounding it out, Damon.
Ooh.
Damon. Thank you.
Thank you, Damon. All
One
right.
and all. Keep this
Um,
fucking ship afloat.
So I wanted to give, just want to take a moment here, just for a shout out to someone who's special, very near and dear to my heart, helps me out a lot during the week, and it means a lot because we're busy. We got a lot of shit going on. My dude Terry, I don't know if I told you guys about Terry.
Are we supposed to say yes?
He handles my documents for me.
Okay.
His name's
Oh, okay.
Documentary.
Oh,
Yeah. That was really bad.
That was dumb. I've been working on that all day.
my God,
Wow.
dude. Wow.
That was part of your
got-
type 5.
That is,
That was what?
that's not going to end up in your tight 15. I'll tell you that right now.
The only reason I bring this up, I fucking died
Holy
this morning.
shit.
We have we got an email. I'm being serious about this. We got an email from a concerned listener. It literally says, you can't see it here, but wait, okay, no, you can't see shit. It says concerned listener. Subject is documentary. They say it's pronounced documentary, not Terry. Jesus H. Christ, you all sound so stupid when you say it with the Terry.
Wow.
If you don't believe me, look it up in the dictionary, and they gave us a link for dictionary.cambridge.org to look up how to say documentary.
Oh.
So, yes, there it is. It is documentary.
Are the last 4 letters Tary?
No, they are not. They
No, they are.
They are in the word documentary.
I'm sorry. It's pronounced documentary. Tree, not Terry.
So
No,
it's spelled
listen,
Tree? It is not.
You can. It's technically documentary
Documentary.
or documentary.
Documentary.
Technically,
But my friend Terry, who holds documents, it is not documentary.
I think both of those are completely wrong.
Okay.
Tary never says tree.
Never.
So just get out of here. Like, Just stop.
Wait a minute. Wait. Are we sticking with documentary? Is that what
I'm
we're
sticking
doing?
with documentary.
Listen. I don't mind saying documentary, even though I still think that's completely wrong because Turi is still wrong for T-A-R-Y.
Yeah, that would be E-R-Y.
I mean, if you just gave the word T-A-R-Y and you said, hey, how would you say that? It wouldn't be Turi, and it sure as fuck wouldn't be tree.
It'd be Terry, dude.
People would say fucking Terry.
Terry, my boy Terry, who handles the fucking documents, man.
Right.
This is my guy.
I guess we're dying on this hill, and I'm fine.
Oh, no. Oh, no. I don't give a fuck. I will 100. Fuck you. I will die on this hill. And here's the thing, too, about this email. You know what? This is, there's no return email.
Yeah.
We're just a scolding with no way to be like, hey, you know what?
They're allowed to be concerned in their own way. That's fine.
Yeah, but you got to at least let me reply to your email. I can't reply to this. There's no reply email. It's not.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, maybe they listen to the podcast. Clearly, they do if they're this offended. And
I literally
and by the way, just listen to this pod. If you've gotten this far already, dear concerned listener, then you know I can't say fucking anything right.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah. No,
so just let it happen. Just let it flow.
Yeah.
But thank you for your concern.
Yeah. No, when I saw the concerned listener, I was like, oh, someone. Oh, the old documentary fucking argument again. Nice.
It's funny how that really gets under people's skin, though.
Oh, I love it.
I just think it's just so silly.
And it's not like we made it up. I mean, it's definitely. I think it's more regional. It's not like we all made up this version of this word.
No, that's how I've always heard it.
I'm pretty sure I just saw someone on the Discord saying that they were like watching, or they like listening to like an audiobook, and the person was calling it a documentary or a documentary. So whatever. I mean, it is what it is. It said how it said. Fucking, I don't know. Live with it. Don't, or just keep sending emails.
Funnily, when I hear somebody pronounce it that way, I give 0 fucks.
Yeah. There you go.
Like, I'm cool with that.
Yeah,
just the way everyone from not everyone, of course, not everyone, but so many people from England or New York can't pronounce the A sound, and it's like, "Did you see the new Dracula?" I'm like, "That's fine, do it."
Fucking Dracula.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw that Godzilla pick the other day, and I'm fucking it up. I'm not doing them justice. It sounds like I'm mocking. I'm not. It's just that's a regional thing. Australia.
Yeah.
Have at it.
Yeah. The adding of the R at the end of stuff is like. Whatever. Whatever.
Sure.
Well,
I know what you're saying. I still understand what you mean. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm not completely. It's not ruined. It's not making me like ruin my fucking day or anything. But you know, that person was concerned. I'm glad that they voiced their concerns, and we're going to continue to say documentary. How do I want to fucking say documentary?
Yeah,
there
you
you
can
have
say
it.
documentary.
Tree.
Like a fucking maple.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
There you go. Documentary. Here's my tree of documents.
A Turi.
Yeah. Well, I have Terry.
Turi.
I have Terry in my documents. Thank you all so very much for joining us. Cryptonaut Podcast. Oh, we're the social media. Check us out there. We're the Instas and the Twitters and the Facebooks. We're there. We're doing it. We got merch over at cryptonautpodcast.com. That is our crowd-made exclusives. We also have merch over at hellorspace.com. That is through TeePublic. There's always sales happening at TeePublic, so be sure to check that out there. That's it. That's
new TeePublic, or not new TeePublic, but new CrowdMade, right?
I have some test prints on hand. Yes, those will be going up soon. We're not sure, but I want to show them to you guys first.
Because we can't meet in person right yet.
Yeah, once we're able to get together in person, then I'll be able to show you guys the stuff and we can check it out. So, but yeah, I did get some test prints. They all came out pretty fucking dope. I'm super fucking excited. So, Chris, there you go.
Nice touch. That's the touch of class. That's what brings us.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Oh my God. That is going to be a negative review, good sir, on the iTunes. They're going to be like, Chris, it's one time, Chris, fucking
He doesn't
burp.
respect us not to
Jesus,
spell
he doesn't
gas.
fucking
Sorry, I borped. That's how we say it.
You
Borp.
can't say documentary.
I'm gonna read a documentary and borp all day long.
All right. Okay. I wasn't going to do this.
On a Saturday.
I was not going to do this, but before we sign off, I'm going to do something that we haven't done in a long time. You guys ready for reviews?
Oh my God. It's been 1,000 years.
I feel like what you do. I feel like we just went over a review.
Yeah, no, we have another one. This is it's called Solid 4 stars.
Hey, not bad.
Not 5. Okay. Are you ready? Great stories, good production value. Rob seems to be the real talent here. I've given up a couple of times because Mark's voice annoys me.
Oh my God.
Oh,
I disagree heartily. Totally.
It might be one of my favorite reviews.
What the fuck, dude?
Why call it solid if he's just going to be like, Mark's a piece of fucking shit?
Clearly, I'm carrying the weight here. Obviously, I'm doing the heavy lifting.
Oh my god, dude, I love it.
It's
dude,
terrible.
I laughed so hard when I read that.
Oh my god, dude.
Mark's voice annoys me.
Oh, what a dill.
Oh, I love it.
Jesus Christ.
I mean,
Dude,
you can't compliment me and shit on one of my best friends.
oh,
You just
dude, it's
can't
fucking
do that.
hilarious.
It's unacceptable.
Oh my God. It's so
Fuck
funny.
you.
dude.
Yeah, and to top it off, just call it solid.
4-star review.
What's solid about this?
It's better. It's better than a fucking 1-star.
No, it is. I mean, at least it doesn't give us too much of an impactful hit in the ratings.
No, but it's just those two fucking things. They're hilarious. I love it. I get such a fucking kick out of it that people.
Well,
take.
I mean, I'm not even mentioned.
I didn't want to bring that up, but you're not. You're not even brought up.
I don't even fucking count.
Maybe it's a new fan, like somebody that doesn't
Yeah,
even
to be
know it
fair,
was a
I've been missing for
trifecta.
fucking months.
Yeah.
Like Chris was
They
there.
might not even know I'm in the pod.
Why'd they fucking add this guy? He's much better than Mark.
Oh God, dude, I love you no matter what.
Oh God, I get a kick out of it. There, just thank you
That
so
just
very
made my
much.
night. Jesus
Oh
Christ.
man, I fucking died.
God,
I've been.
that's
I was
fucking
going to show it
cool.
to you guys in person, but I figured, fuck it, I'll do it on the show. One.
Oh my God, dude.
Jesus Christ.
We'll be talking to you. Peace.
Goodbye.
Time for me to do all the work again. Thanks, guys.
I just
it's a
want to
heavy
think,
lifting.
I just
Jesus
want to
Christ.
think that they're like listening and they hear me and they're like, "Oh, the son of a bitch got him his fucking annoying ass fuck," and they just turn it off and they're just mad the rest of the day. They can't finish breakfast. They can't talk to their kids. Like,
Yeah, I really
Can't
love
finish
this
breakfast.
subject. It was narrated so beautifully, but then Mark came on, and now I can't enjoy a Bigfoot.
who the fuck?
my
My
waffle?
wife made Belgian waffles and I was going to enjoy them, but fucking Mark had to say something stupid. Now I can't.
They're like, why the fuck do they add a third person? Who the fuck's this guy? Chris is way cooler. No, he doesn't annoy me. There you go. Yeah, fuck Mark. I love it. Oh shit. All right, there it is. We'll be talking to you. Peace.